You'll be great. All
There you
right.
go.
So thanks for agreeing to meet with me. Let's just start off with tell me a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do with most of your time, how long you've been practicing yoga, things like that.
All right. So I live in Greenville, North Carolina. I um stay home with my three girls. They're 10, 8, and 6. And so my youngest went off to kindergarten this year, and I knew I wanted to do something, but I did not want to do anything full time. Although I will say this did keep me busy teach or learning doing the program. But so yeah, I have a master's in school counseling. I played volleyball in college, so I've always been an active person. I got into running after college, and I guess I should also add I'm a coach's wife, so I've moved around quite a bit and had different hats. And at one of my stops at Syracuse, New York, I volunteered at a yoga studio and I checked people in and I got free yoga. And I should have gotten my 200-hour teacher training then because I did a lot of yoga. So anyway, that was back in 2013. So fast forward 10 years. We've lived in a bunch of different states, and I did get a small PIO certification, but never used it because of COVID. And then moved to Greenville. And like I said, I wanted to do something. And yoga has always been a great balance to my running because my hips are so tight and I just feel like I feel my best when I do yoga. And so it was I had a friend back in Texas, one of our stops was a yoga instructor and she actually got her certification through yoga medicine. So when it was coming time for me to get my yoga certification, I'm like, where do I even start? Um, and so I went to her and she told me about yoga medicine.
Awesome. Great. Well, you just answered all my first three questions, so that's done.
Well, I will say so
Perfect.
the so the reason Greenville is a fairly small town, so there's not that many teacher trainings to go through, and I have three small kids. I'm like, my husband's works are gone all the time, so I'm like, I want to do this, but how do I do it? And she said, if there's any online training that you're going to do, it's going to be through yoga medicine because you guys just you cover everything. And even so I got a job at a fitness studio, and one of these instructors was like, I just wish I had more anatomy. And I was like, oh well, this program I did was like awesome. Like the first however many months we covered all this anatomy. So anyway.
Great. What did you love about the program?
um I will say the pace was great with my schedule. I felt like I was able to manage it. I I was surprised by how much I did like the anatomy piece because I just was a very interesting way. I mean, yoga, you think, oh, it's just going to be flowy and easy, and the anatomy kind of threw me for a loop with how much of a deep dive we did, but I really liked it. So, what else? I mean, I liked the people that I connected with. It was the craziest thing. A girl that I went to high school with, who was an Olympic athlete, was on the same training program. It's such a small world. So
I did not
anyway,
know that you went to high
oh, you
school
didn't
with
know?
Rachel.
Well, so no,
Oh,
we went to the same high school.
oh, right.
I'm 8 years older than her. So
Okay, no, that
yes,
makes sense. Of course you are.
yes.
Wow, okay. Yes, small
But
world.
I think to start off the bat, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like meant to be. This is like this program's a legit, obviously, if somebody like her is going to be on the program too. But what else did I mean, I liked almost everything about it. I wish there would have been time to like meet in person at least one time. That's what I feel like I missed. But it's also the reason why I did the online is because it was easy for my schedule. So
Yeah. Well, this year we're
um,
actually offering a in-person the last week to do in person in Thailand. So yeah,
oh,
you can sign up
nice.
again. No, just kidding.
I know.
All right, great. How did you find the online learning experience?
Good. I feel like I mean, I've taken online classes before, so it wasn't an issue for me. I felt like the way that it was set up was very easy to access, whether it was the practice, the lectures, having the rest week built in. I just, for me, it was very, and even the directions of like the observation stuff is just easy to follow along. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. So, and the pace, I don't think if I didn't have that rest week, I probably would have felt overwhelmed, but I just felt the pace was wonderful. So,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah.
Um, did you feel there was a turning point in the program for you where like either like a big aha moment or something really clicked or just, really got you excited?
I think it's when you do those breakout sessions with your other classmates, and like the feedback they give or the positive reinforcement or just like to give you that confidence, you know what I mean? Like the first day we did those sun salutation A's, and it was just like, oh my gosh, in front of all these people. And then just to, that's overwhelming feeling. And then to be at the end and just be like, I know how to teach a sun salutation A. And it's like, nothing is so crazy. But then it's just they're all going through the same thing you're going through. So it's just a nice support system, I felt like. And everybody's there. Well, the people I interacted with were super positive, and I don't know. Yeah.
So those breakout sessions for you were it was in those sessions that you felt like I can do this, like I can teach. Is that what you mean?
That's what I mean. Yes. Like I feel like the way they were providing feedback or just saying you're doing a great job, it's like the self-doubt that you sometimes have that you're like, am I really doing okay? You know what I mean? And so whether they tell you that your cueing is great or just they like the sequence that you came up with or just things that you have never done before and then saying, is this any good? And then somebody says, yes, I liked it, is nice.
Yeah, awesome. Um, what would you say, what was the impact of this training like on you as a person? You mentioned that you're a mom, you have three girls, you move around a lot. So thinking, I guess, more broadly about what impact it had on you as a person or in your life.
So as a coach's wife and a mom, I mean, it's huge impact. There are like this training manual that you guys gave us, all of the philosophies of yoga are just, I don't know, they apply to my life so good. Like in terms of like being present or like the Santosha, being happy and content. Um, so this friend of mine who also does yoga medicine, we did this Instagram account for coaches' wives, and I've used some of these things that I've learned for the coaches' wives, like in terms of like helping with meditation or just these pieces that people might do, but that maybe they don't consciously do it, and just as a mom, there's times when you need to take a moment to yourself. And then I look over at my daughter before a game and I'm doing meditation and she comes in and she's sitting next to me and just like closing her eyes doing that. It's just like the sweetest thing. So I know these aren't little bits and pieces, more of my like story of like snippets of how I've applied it, but um it was been it's like a part of my life. And yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. I love that. I love that it's yeah, carried across. It's so nice because we often think like we need these really formalized ways of teaching, like the job at the studio or at the gym. But I
Mhm.
think what's equally or more beautiful are these other ways that we get to share, like you said, with other coaches' wives or like in this Instagram page. And I love that. That makes me really
Yeah.
happy. Yeah. Um, what would you say to someone thinking about doing this program?
Do it. I guess I sometimes just put things off and put things off, and I just feel the instructors were unbelievably supportive and always available. The group of people that showed up, I mean, there was 30 some people in the class, which I feel like is a big class. And it was it was everything or more than I thought it would be, I guess, because it just flowed very nicely. It's like you guys already you thought about how this program would unfold and how we would need to digest the information, and building on each week was, I don't know, it just made sense. And so I'm glad that I started it when I did and just didn't keep putting it off, right? Like, yeah, I mean, sometimes it was hard to get the kids in bed and they're like, Mom's going to be on a yoga call, but it all like it fit. So, yeah.
Awesome. And then anything you want to share about how it feels now to be teaching, about your first sort of, actual job as a yoga teacher?
Yeah, I'm very grateful that I was able to get a job. I got a job before I even finished my program. So through this program, you have to do observations, and I introduced myself to a yoga instructor, and she was very friendly, and we became friends. And she's very connected in the Greenville community, and she is busy also. So when an instructor asked her to teach, she's like, "No, I'm not available, but very skilled uh, my very skilled friend is getting her 200 hours." So I interviewed with this studio, and then I did a demo class, and I got the job, and I teach regular at 9:30 on Friday mornings. It's a small studio, but I feel prepared. Like we learn about sequencing, like it's not some generic thing. And I don't know, it's fun to bring in the quotes, and I don't know, it's all playing out in action.
Perfect. Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
Jen, thank you. You were brilliant. I'm so
Well,
grateful to you and appreciate you making the
yeah,
time
yeah,
late
yeah,
at
yeah.
night as well.
Oh,
So that's it. Let me just pause the recording, just
okay.
stop it for